Here are 3 reasons why your characters suck. Number 1, you don't have a story. A character without a story doesn't invite the viewer to figure out what is behind that character. It makes the character flat and it reduces it to simply a pretty picture. When you have a character with a story, you invite the viewer, you invite the person that is looking at your art to collaborate with the story of your character. They want to find out what is happening behind this character. And that is definitely what you want. And it doesn't take much for you to create that story. Check out this guy, for example. We don't have much data about him. We know that he is thin, that he's scared, and that he's wearing oversized armor. What is the story of this character? We don't know. Is he maybe an underpaid guard? Maybe. Maybe he's a little princeling that went into a dungeon not being ready to what he was going to face. It doesn't really matter what it is, as long as we provide enough detail to the viewer so they can figure it out. Number 2 is that you're way too worried about technique. This is a mistake that I used to do all the time when I was starting out. I used to believe that for me to create an engaging character, I had to come in and render every single thing, because the better that I would render my character, the more realistic the character would be. Therefore, my audience was going to like it. I was completely wrong. Technique matters very little when it comes to creating engaging characters. I could even strip this character out of the color and the inking would be absolutely enough to convey the story of this character to the viewer. And number 3, and this is another one that I used to do all the time, is believing that the amount of detail that you put in the character is what is going to make it interesting. When I was starting out, I would have looked at this drawing and thought, maybe if I would put some embroidery in his clothing, I would make this character more interesting. Well, you tell me, is it more interesting with that? Of course it isn't. In fact, most of the time, the more detail that you add, the less interesting you make the character, because you make it overwhelming. Simplicity is key not only in character creation, but in anything art related. And hey, if you like the brushes that I use for the sketches, the inking, or even the coloring of this little character right here, you can find all of them for Procreate Clip Studio or Photoshop down in my links.